Oh, brother, what's going on, man? You excited for camp, Jason? You excited for camp? So I'm freaking excited for camp, man. Let's talk about it real quick, guys, ladies and gentlemen. The start of Eagles training camp is finally here after a tough all season, which obviously started with the Super Bowl loss. That obviously was not the way we thought that game would go, especially as well we were playing, right? To have the exciting draft that we had again, Howie doing a great job again in the NFL draft. And it leads to this at a much anticipated season. Can the Eagles get back to the promised land? And that's going to be the question. I want to set the mood here, right? Because, dude,
Everybody's copy. Lane already went in.
Is this something you've seen that you guys don't like? Is this something that we're wearing? It must be crazy.
Just here for the vibes. I just gotta say, I was a trendsetter. Everybody's copy. Lane already went in.
You're 11. One more guy coming with the picture. Hello there.
Oh, good morning.
Good morning.
First day of school.
Yeah, you do. Is this something you've seen that you guys don't like?
all right. So, look, these guys are loose. These guys are ready. I'm excited for Eagles football. We're obviously going to be looking at the Eagles team closer to the kickoff of this upcoming NFL season. There's a lot of questions with this team, even after a great offseason, after a Super Bowl appearance. Today, I want to look at the main concern that I keep here. Obviously, with the Birds, the main thing that you notice the difference is the coaching staff. Shane Steichen goes to Indianapolis, Jonathan Gannon goes to Arizona, and so now we got to replace those two. And as controversial as maybe Jonathan Gannon may be, both of the coordinators were important to our success of getting to the Super Bowl. I know you guys want to kill me for saying that, but it is true. Jonathan Gannon did call some big play games, except for the Super Bowl, of course. And so in comes Brian Johnson and Sean Desai. And there's a big question mark, which obviously leads to some concern, but also some excitement. Like, what are we going to get? Especially if you are a Jonathan Gannon hater, Sean Desai can't be any worse, right? So I think a lot of the main concerns for Sean is hoping that he's not as conservative, especially with this play calling, as Jonathan Gannon. That fucking soft zone defense that we continue seeing that, we're going to be going crazy again. But Sean's a smart guy, and he's seen this defense enough. I'm sure he's going to call the right plays and be the coordinator that we wanted from Jonathan Gannon. And obviously, this pass rush was spectacular last year. Should continue off this year. Son Reddick, chip on his shoulder again. I'm excited to see what he can do more. Obviously, linebacker core and the safety positions where most of my question marks are, just because there's a lot of guys we haven't seen before. And so it's going to be the question. But of course, the main question is the coordinators, and it's going to be one of those things where we're going to have to wait and see what that looks like. For Brian Johnson, obviously he's familiar with Jalen Hurts, and he's been under Shane Steichen for a while now as well. So this is just obviously a promotion within the staff. So, and you like the familiarity with Jalen Hurts. But you're going to have to wait and see what these guys are all about. We'll find out in the first couple of weeks of the season. And, of course, the most important part of the job is being able to make those adjustments. And we'll see how those guys are able to do it. But obviously, both guys have a lot of talent to work with. It's about handling those personalities and putting those guys in the right spots. Brian Johnson's job is a little bit easier because the offense does retain the most important pieces. Of course, your quarterback, Jalen Hurts. Of course, A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, Dallas Goedert, Lane Johnson, the whole offensive line in general, as we just showed the clip. They're all intact. So the job's a little bit easier for Brian Johnson. It's when, you get a little bit too pretty, not realizing your strengths. Obviously, this Eagles offense, it's pretty damn good. They're pretty well balanced as well. But I don't want them to get too pretty. They're a physical team. You've heard a lot of, they try to change the rule, right? They were so pissed off at us running the QB sneak and they working at high success. They wanted to try to take it away from us, but it worked. They couldn't. They just flat out couldn't. So, we'll see how these guys do perform. We'll see how these guys handle the job. But I think that for Brian Johnson, the job is a little bit easier. So we're gonna have to wait and see how these guys do prevail.